Hey, it is Troy Stavros. Let's take a look at the Farragut housing market now that we have all the data in through the end of August and kind of see where we are right now. Let's just jump in and take a look. All right, let's start with home sales. So we're looking at single family homes and we're comparing August of 2023, all data through the end of August 2023 to 1 year earlier. Home sales are down 28.3% compared to 1 year earlier. You saw in the card to the left there, the last month we were down 42% compared to the year earlier. But still, home sales are significantly lower than they were a year ago and are lower than they have really been for a long time. Let's take a look at this chart here. Well, first let's take a look and see what is selling, and then I'm going to show you how low home sales are compared to previous years. So when we look at this chart, we're looking at what homes have sold and what price points. So let's just see the homes that have sold the most, or the price point that sold the most in August was this price point right here. The 600 to 650 price point saw 6 homes sell in that price point. Then followed by the 550 to 600 range had 4 home sales, and then the 850 to 900 saw 4 home sales. So those were the top price points for sales in the month of August, with 6 to 650, 600 to 650,000 coming in with the most sales in the month of August. Let's take a look at this chart here, which shows this is 37934, obviously. So Farragut and home sales over the years going all the way back to August of 2018. You can see here we are right here. August of 2023 saw 38 sales in the 37934 zip code. So if we go back to years previous to see how much lower this is than normal, so August of 2022 had 53 sales compared to 38 this year. If we go back to 2021, you had 40 sales compared to 38. Oh, I'm sorry. August of 2021 was 62 sales compared to 38. So an even bigger jump. If you go back to 2020, which was a crazy year, that saw 67 sales. If you go back to 2019, you saw 56 sales. And if you go back to 2018, you saw 57 sales. So you can see how low home sales are in August of 2023, last month, compared to what they typically are. So home sales are down significantly. And why is that? Well, one of the biggest reasons is mortgage rates. If we take a look at this chart here, you can see this chart shows the purchase index, which is basically people that are getting mortgages and how it compares to mortgage interest rates. And you can see that right now, if we look at it right now, the purchase index is the lowest it has been since back in 1996. Actually, 1995. It was lower in 1995, but since then it has never been as low as it has been right now. And you can see that that is a direct correlation to the rise in interest rates, right? See, so back here in 1995, where it was lower, so let's go. So purchase index as of right now is at 154.1, right? So to go back to some place where it's that low, we have to go back to 1995. And let's just, okay, let's find, all right, here, 151.2. That's the time where it was lower than what it currently is. At that point, mortgage interest rates were 7.71%, but they were coming off of interest rates. Look, they were on a drop coming down. They were previously 9.19%, and then they were dropping. But still, it's been since 1996 since we've had fewer mortgages being applied for than they are right now. So the mortgage interest rate is having a huge effect on home purchases, and also a huge effect on inventory, because we know homeowners who have been in their home for a couple years or purchased within the last couple years, if they have a mortgage, they either bought a home at a lower interest rate, or they've refinanced their home at a lower interest rate, where the majority of people have interest rates under 4%, some under 3%, and they aren't super motivated to sell their home and get a new mortgage at what is today 7.23%. So that is one of the biggest issues that we are dealing with right now. Let's take a look. The next thing we want to look at is pending sales. Pending sales are down 18.6% compared to a year ago for the same reasons that we just talked about. Let's take a look and see what price points are pending, are high. So these are the pending sales. We saw the most pending sales in August in the 650 to 700 price range, with 5 homes going under contract in the 650 to 700 price range. Coming up behind that was the 550 to 600 price range with 4 homes, and then the 300 to 350 price range with 4 homes going under contract in the month of August. So again, we saw the most sales, we said earlier, in that 600 to 650 price range, and then we saw the most homes go pending in that 650 to 700 price range. All right, let's take a look at inventory. So inventory of homes is up 32.7%. So home sales are down, pending sales are down, but the inventory of homes is up 32.7% compared to a year ago. And the reason for that is what we just talked about. Interest rates, lots of people are not interested in putting their homes on the market right now because they are locked in to a low interest rate. So when we take a look at available inventory, these are the active listings here. Let's take a look and see what price points have the most available inventory right now. Well, that is a clear winner. The 650 to 700 price range, so 650 to 699, 999, has 12 available homes on the market in August. So if you have a home in that price range and it's not selling, the reason is typically supply and demand, right? So there's definitely more supply in that price point than any other price point in 37934 zip code. So there are 12 homes available in that 650 to 700 price range as far as active listings go. Behind that, the other ones with the highest were the 700 to 750 price range, had 7 homes available. The 750 to 800 price range had 6 homes available. So that's where we stood as far as active listings go. Let's take a look and see if we go to active listings here and we just take a look. This is something to see as far as where we are historically as far as inventory. So there were 70 homes on the market at the end of August in 37934 zip code. Before that, that's the most there has actually been on the market since before pre-pandemic, right? Pre-pandemic, we obviously had a lot more inventory on the market over here, and then it started falling during the pandemic and just stayed low, but then came up. So in September of 2022 and October of 2022, we saw 70 and 68 homes on the market, same as there were right now. So, okay, so what happened in September of 2022 that may have had inventory rise? If we go back to our chart here showing what interest rates did, let's look for September. Here's what happened in September, October of 2022. We saw interest rates shoot up here. They went from being around 5% to jumping up to 6.95% by the end of October. So anytime interest rates go up like that, you can expect inventory to increase as well, because again, fewer people want to put their homes on the market, and a lot of times that reduces the demand because people are thinking they're waiting for interest rates to go down, so they don't typically jump on and buy a house when interest rates have jumped up to a new high. They're waiting for them to drop back down. So because people aren't putting their homes on the market and people wait a little bit more to buy, looking at interest rates, inventory is obviously going to rise in those situations. All right, let's take a look at new listings. So new listings were down 8.2% compared to a year ago. Again, for the same reason, not seeing a lot of new listings, less than a year ago because interest rates. Again, people not motivated to put their homes on the market compared to a year ago. So let's just take a quick peek over here and see what the interest rates were a year ago. So a year ago, so that would have been August of 2022, you were looking at interest rates in the low fives, and they started rising maybe up to 6. So interest rates were anywhere from 2 to 1.5 to 2 percentage points lower than what they are right now. Therefore, you are seeing again less new listings coming on the market, home sales down because of that year over year. Let's take a look at what new listings are coming on the market and what price points. So we're seeing these are the new listings, 37934, the most available inventory. Most new listings were in it looks like the tied at 5. So we saw 5 come on in the 450 to 500 price range. We saw 5 come on the market in the 550 to 600 price range. And we saw 5 come on the market in the 850 to 900 price range in August. And then outside of that, it was fairly even across the other price ranges, 2, 3 coming on the market here and there in those other price ranges. But those were the ones with the most coming on the market as far as new listings in 37934 were the 850 to 900, 550 to 600, and 450 to 500. All right, let's take a look at the median sales price. So the median sales price in Farragut in the month of August came in at $625,500. We know, if you've watched any of my previous listings or previous videos, that this number bounces around quite a bit because there's so few homes on the market that if we get one that is really expensive, it can definitely make this number jump up in a month. So you have to kind of take this number with a grain of salt. But when we look at that shows that the median sales price is up 11.7% compared to a year ago. Again, that's a number you have to take with a grain of salt, simply because a year ago could have also had a big high dollar listing hit the market, and that could have changed things, or vice versa. So one thing that's good that's good to look at as far as the median sales price is what's happening year to date, because that's taking everything that's happened from January through August to see how things are looking. So when we go and take a look at that on this chart here, we're looking at the median sales price. So this is August 23 again compared to August 22. So it came in at $625,500 as far as August median sales price. Again, 11.7% higher than 1 year earlier, but the year to date median sales price came in at $640,500, and that's showing a year to date change of 5.04%. So that gives us a little bit better idea what's happening because it's taking all of the months of the year into account. So still seeing good price appreciation here in Farragut. It's lower than what we're seeing in Knoxville as a whole, but again, we are seeing price appreciation. Prices are not dropping. And the reason for that is inventory being so low. And we do not see a big glut of inventory coming on the market anytime soon because, again, like we said, the people locked into low interest rates. So let's take a look at some of the active data, what's happening with things that are actively on the market. So this graphic right here, if you've watched my other videos, I explained it, but I'll just a quick explanation is this is called the Market Action Index graph. And when we look at this graph, it's kind of like a speedometer. So if the dial is going to the left, it means that prices and the market is decelerating. If it's going to the right, it means that prices are accelerating. The number 30 here is kind of the benchmark. Below 30 means we're in a buyer's market. Above 30 means we're in a seller's market. So things have ticked a little bit to the left compared to last month. It's hard to see, but it was a little bit higher. So things have decelerated a little bit, which is not uncommon for this time of year. But right now we're at a slight seller's advantage still in Farragut. Not in a buyer's market, still in a slight seller's advantage. And this can vary when you go from price point to price point, and I'll show you that in 1 minute. But let's take a look over here on the right-hand side at the real-time market profile. So these graphs show a 3-month line of what has happened in the market in these different things. So the median list price over the last 3 months has basically stayed pretty flat. So not any big changes there. We can typically start to see it go down this time of year anyway, so that's not surprising, but overall it has stayed pretty flat. The median price of new listings has come down a little bit, so trending down slightly. Again, we would typically see them coming down this time of year as well. The price per square foot of homes that are active on the market over the last 3 months, we've seen that come down. At 3 months ago, the average listing was at $251 a square foot, where now the average listing is at $227 a square foot. So we have seen that come down. Average days on, or median and average days in the market have trended higher. So taking a little bit longer for things to sell. This is one that we always want to keep an eye on. So price decreases have definitely trended higher over the last 3 months. And this is showing that as of September 8th, which was last Friday, 53.85, so basically 54% of the homes that are currently on the market have had a price reduction. So over half of the homes on the market have had to reduce their price. So that tells you that the market is softening a little bit. It's moving a little bit, like we said over here, a little bit more to the left. It's decelerating a little bit. Still in a slight seller's advantage, but it's moving that direction. So that's just something that we're going to need to keep an eye on. And again, this will vary from price point to price point and subdivision and house. So if you're wondering about your specific house, just reach out to me and let me know. And I'm happy to let you know about your specific house, because that could be different than the overall data that we're looking at. Inventory, you can see over the last 3 months has definitely increased. So we're seeing more things come on the market. Median rent has decreased a little bit. It was higher definitely at the beginning of the 3 months, and then it stayed pretty flat after that. And then the market action index, you can see, has definitely trended down. At 3 months ago, we were at 56.91 for the market action index, and that has moved down to 44. So again, this shows that the market in 37934 is decelerating. It's becoming less of a seller's market. still a slight seller's market, but becoming less of one. When we look at this market action index, and we look at it across the pricing segments, you can see that the pricing segment that is currently the least amount of a seller's market is the top 90 day. So the top 90 day, if we look at the market segments here, is the upper bracket, the most expensive houses in 37934. They are the ones that are getting closer to being in a buyer's market. They're still at a 39.13 market action index. They're still in a seller's market, but they are definitely moving closer. And those are, when we average those out. So the market segments, they cut the market into 4 segments. So this would be the top segment, where the median price comes in at $1,225,000. So basically everything above that, and then the $1,225,000 would be the median, and the median of that is also a median square footage of almost 3,900 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3.8 baths, 11 years old. So that's kind of showing you a median of that segment. So that segment there is probably the one that's closest to getting to a buyer's market. After that, we have the upper 90-day segment, which is coming in at a 64.06, which is, still well higher into a seller's market, and that is the median sales price of $813,450. Then the next one is showing currently the one that is highest in the seller's market, and that's those that are averaging right around $700,000. And then the lowest price segment, which is average, the median price is $539.99, and everything below that. That one also is pretty deep into a seller's market, coming in at 70.82 as far as the market action index. So there you go. That is what we're looking at as far as what is happening with current active listings. When we look, just last thing on this big chart, the average sold price per square foot in August of homes in the 37934 zip code was $241 per square foot. And then the absorption rate ticked up a little bit to 1.87 months worth of inventory. So that is definitely, it's trending higher. We're seeing more inventory come on the market, but we're still in Farragut under 2 months of inventory, when a healthy market has 6 months of inventory. So hopefully this has been helpful. If you have any questions about your specific house, feel free to reach out, or your specific subdivision, feel free to reach out. If you're interested in having access to this, so you can kind of look at these numbers yourself, just reach out and let me know, and I can give you access to this. And you can actually subscribe to this here, and it'll be sent to you every month. So every time it changes, you can see the changes just right along with me. All right, I hope you are having a great day. Hope this has been educational, and I will talk to you soon.